you're sending cold DMs that don't get replies, these are the 4 mistakes that you can fix right now to see results like this. After sending millions of cold emails for myself and seeing thousands of campaigns across thousands of clients, these 4 mistakes are by far the most costly. And so in this video, I will share what these mistakes are and how you can fix them. But if you miss just one of these, you probably won't get replies and you'll get stuck in that repeated cycle of doing a ton of work to try and get replies and simply not seeing the results you want. Now, from just looking at the title of this video, you might think that I'm about to rant about the perfect DM or the fact that you just need to send out more volume. But the truth is that the key to a DM that gets replies from interested prospects isn't what you say, but rather how you say it and who you say it to. So what I mean by this is that you need to have a relevant offer and you need to put it in front of the right people. You could have the perfect offer, but if you don't put it in front of the right people, then it doesn't really matter. And vice versa, you could have the best targeting in the world, but if you're not offering something that they want, then it doesn't really matter. And so if you want your messages to resonate with your target audience, then the number one mistake I see is exactly this. It's market relevance and targeting. Now there's different layers to this. So for example, you could be in a situation where you have a very vague ICP. Maybe you're thinking that you target SaaS companies, right? Or maybe you target fitness coaches or just coaches in general. And so the truth is that this is a very vague ICP and this isn't really going to help you nail in your messaging to actually be able to hit perfect pain points whenever you're reaching out to these individuals. Second thing when it comes to market relevance and targeting is how familiar whoever you're reaching out to is with you. Meaning, where are they in the awareness spectrum? Meaning, are they unaware? Are they problem aware? Are they solution aware? Or are they product aware? Especially if you're just starting out, you want to be as close to product aware as you can and as far away from unaware as you can. Another thing that I see a lot of mistakes on is whether or not what you're offering to the market is actually valuable and do people actually want it. If there's no benefit to whatever it is that you're selling, no one will ever reply and you won't really get any sales. So if you don't have product market fit, that's really what you're looking after to start off. Another one I see a ton when it comes to market relevance is your DMs not answering the most important question that people have whenever they see your message, which is, why do I need this now? And so the fix to this is having something that is actually relevant and that solves a core issue in your target. And so the fix to that is to offer something that actually solves a real world problem for your prospects. For example, Drippy.ai fills a gap in the market, meaning there's a bunch of people that are doing cold outreach and they're doing it on LinkedIn and on cold email. But there is no solid way to do that same type of cold outreach on Twitter. And so that is where Twitter DMs come into play. That's where Drippy.ai comes into play. And so you just want to think about that. Is your product actually solving a real world issue that people are willing to pay for? And if it's not, then I just kind of go back and think about how I want to frame whatever it is that I'm going to sell to make sure that it does fill a gap in the market. Now, in terms of finding people that need your service, there's a couple different ways to do this. Now, there's no blanket advice for this because it really depends on what it is that you're selling, whether it's applicable to everyone in your space or whether it's only applicable to people that are in the buying window. So there's a couple ways to do it. Either you are just really targeted with your outreach, knowing for a fact that whoever you're reaching out to has the pain point that you solve. And in that case, it's just going to be a matter of, okay, have they gotten this solved? Yes or no, but there's no question of whether or not they have or had the pain point. And so that's the first one, just being super targeted with your list of leads. Now, something that we've been testing out that's been working really, really well for this, if you're doing Twitter outreach, is using a tool like Drippy to scrape leads. Then you run those leads through something like Freckle or Clay. And then you ask AI on top of Freckle or Clay to determine whether or not a specific lead fits your ICP. Obviously, you'd give it details on who your ICP is, you'd give it a couple examples that it would know, but just based off of someone's profile, the AI will be able to determine whether or not they fit your ICP. Now, another really cool way of knowing whether or not someone is interested in your services is by using social listening tools like Trigify. These tools will allow you to listen in on conversations that are happening online, and then what you can do is you can export all that data to other flows knows to then reach out to them. And so what happens here is that you have someone that will be posting on social media talking about how they have a churn problem, and let's say that you have a tool that solves churn. And so what would happen here is you'd have a bunch of people that are complaining about lead generation, for example, or cold email deliverability, and let's say you offer a solution to that. And so what you can do is you can add them to campaigns to reach out to them directly and let them know that you can help them with whatever pain or issue they're experiencing. All right, so the second mistake I most commonly see is not taking into account prospect awareness levels. So big misconception I see here, not just in cold DMs, but also just the outreach world in general, is using personalization for just the sake of using personalization. And I don't know if it's because of the AI wave, but I feel like people just want to personalize because they can, not because it's relevant. And that's the point I kind of want to make here. Personalization actually just means understanding your prospect to a deeper level and showing them that you actually understand where they're at in terms of awareness, and then writing a message based off of that. So it's not just personalizing, saying like, hey, I saw you follow XYZ, so thought I'd reach out, but more so it's understanding where they're at in the awareness spectrum, so that whenever you reach out to them, they're like, yes, okay, like, yes, this makes sense. The same thing whenever you are writing copy for ads, for example. You want whoever's listening to that ad or reading that ad to be like, yes, this applies to me specifically. And so that's how we need to be doing personalization. It's not just, hey, saw your post about XYZ, or hey, saw you followed XYZ, so thought I'd reach out. It's more so you want to almost have it feel like magic, okay? It's, you know who they are, you know exactly where they're at, and so that's how you personalize, okay? That is more so what we need to be doing when it comes to personalization, not so much the, hey, saw you made a post, or the, hey, loved your last tweet, etc., right? And just if you think about it, it makes perfect sense for a message to someone that knows exactly who you are and what you offer to be completely different than a message going to someone that has no freaking idea who you are or what you even sell. So that's why whenever you're crafting your messages, you again need to know exactly who it is that you're reaching out to. So someone that knows exactly who you are, maybe they don't need a huge nudge, so you just go for a conversational opener, something like, yo, what's up, first name, and then you know exactly who they are, they know exactly who you are, and so just a very easy transition into a call. But if it's someone that has no idea who you are, you just kind of know that they have a problem that you can solve, then that's when you go in with a very nice hook that will get their attention. Then you dive into some case studies to show your expertise, and then you hit them with a really, really solid offer that is very easy to say yes to with a very soft call to action. And so those are kind of the two different sides of the spectrum. Either you're going really hard and you're going in with all the heavy tactics to make sure your offer and your message is super easy to say yes to, or you are just literally starting a conversation because there is already that familiarity, and it's really easy to get those guys that are a lot warmer onto a call with you. All right, the third fatal mistake I see is people not understanding the fundamentals of an offer. People don't really reply to those that have the best DM scripts. Scripts don't really matter if what's behind it isn't really desirable. People just want to reply if they see that the value is there for them and it's also believable. Your aim with an offer that's meant to be sent via cold DMs, meaning completely cold people, really isn't to show like who you are and how amazing you are, but more so what's in it for the prospect. Like, what are they going to get from them saying yes and either accepting the lead magnet that you're offering or hopping on a call with you? You need to make it super, super, number one, valuable, and you need to make it super easy for them to understand and super easy for them to say yes to whatever it is that you're offering, especially now that everyone's been burned in the past. And so what we've seen work best is just very easy to say yes to offers that deliver results quickly, that get your foot in the door, and then once you have shown your prospects at that point in time leads that you actually know what you're doing and that you can get results. So that's when you can start getting them on your higher ticket plans. And so again, just to recap on this one, because this one is super, super important, you need to build an offer that's specifically built for cold traffic, that's easy to say yes to for someone that has no idea who you are, okay? So if you can do that, you'll be golden. And the fourth biggest mistake I see when it comes to cold DMs is not optimizing your profile correctly. You'd be surprised with how many people actually try and get results with cold DMs without even optimizing their profile. profiles. And then they question why they're not working for them. So if you don't have a profile that makes you look like an authority and you're trying to reach out to serious business owners, then don't be surprised if you get 0 replies. An optimized profile is literally the first point of credibility. If you don't have a well-optimized profile, meaning if you don't have a good profile picture, cover photo, you have a good looking website in your bio, if there's not like other big people that follow you, if you don't have content, if you don't have a pinned post, if you're not verified, then people won't trust you, okay? This is kind of your online resume whenever you're doing Twitter DMs or just cold DMs in general, okay? If you don't have a good looking profile, again, I can't stress this enough, nothing will work. You can have the best offer in the world, you can have the best script in the world, you can have the perfect messaging, but if people don't trust you because of what your profile looks like, then nothing is going to work. You're not going to book any calls. Nothing's really going to happen via your cold DMs. And so now you know exactly what mistakes you want to avoid if you want people to say this about your cold DMs. But these 4 mistakes are honestly just a very small part of cold DMs. You still have to learn exactly how to scrape leads, what the best tools for that are, what the best templates for your scripts actually are, what the best looking profiles look like. I can literally just go on and on talking about this topic. So I created a full free course that you can watch right here on YouTube that walks through everything you need to know. I literally give you the scripts, I give you the leads, I give you everything to make it super easy for you to succeed with cold Twitter DMs. It's going to be the second link down below the description and also be linked right here on screen. I appreciate you for watching and I'll see you there.